what's going on, everybody? It is I, Bryan Tann, one half of the Plotaholics, coming to you with another edition of Tann Talks. And this is where I'm going to come to you guys and I'm going to talk to you from my own point of view of things that I've seen, whether I liked it, whether I disliked it. Am I going to rant and rave? What's the deal? Well, with that being said, let's go into the second film ever in Tann Talks. Just came out on Friday the 5th, March 5th, and that is the 30-year awaited sequel of Coming to America, titled Coming to America. Starring Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall as the returning, I should say, as Prince Akeem and his best friend Simi. In this film, Prince Akeem has become king, but he needs a male heir. Otherwise, there could be a war between Zamunda and the Nextdoorians. Yeah, the Nextdoorians. The Nextdoorians are led by General Easy, played by Wesley Snipes, who, if you've seen the original Coming to America, is the brother of Imani, the woman he was supposed to marry, the one that's hopping on one foot barking. Yeah, that joke gets rehashed. So, let's talk about it. So, Prince Akeem and Princess Lisa have been married. They're living in Zamunda for the last 30 plus years. They have 3 daughters. Life is good until King Jaffe Joffer, the Prince Akeem's father, is dying. He dies, making Hakeem the king. However, there needs to be a union between Zamunda and Nextdoria, because Nextdoria is a poor nation. Zamunda is doing very, very well, but there's still some beef there because Hakeem did not marry Imani. So, with King Jaffe dead, they're basically stating out, and this is one of the things about the movie that I didn't like. In the original Coming to America, Hakeem is looked at as, yeah, he's young, he's a little bit sort of unlearned, but he's very, very wise. He's extremely wise, and he's a strong guy. In this film, a lot of that sort of gets lost, and I think it's partly sort of a character flaw, which, while it's not bad, I kind of don't like the fact that they sort of paint Hakeem out to be sort of weak. He's a weak leader, and a weak person. That I don't like. I didn't like that at all. But they say that he needs a male heir because General Izzy's son is kind of loathsome, and there's no way Hakeem's oldest daughter, is going to marry the guy at all. She's been training all of her life to be the queen. That's what she wants to do, but she doesn't want to marry this guy. So it's determined that Hakeem actually has a son with another woman when he first went to America. Apparently Semi got him drunk, took him and these other women back that he met, during the whole scene when they're supposed to be meeting all the women in Queens. And the woman that Hakeem ends up having a kid with, played by Leslie Jones, who's pretty funny in this. I won't lie. She's pretty funny. She's not unlikably loud. She's hilarious in this. Well, him and her have a son, and so Hakeem has to go back, meet the kid, and bring him back to Zamunda and train him up to be a prince so that he can marry the daughter of General Izzy, who, she's not too bad at all. The one thing that I don't like about this film is the comedy feels so cartoonish. I said this on the latest episode of the Plotaholics podcast, our White Men Can't Jump episode. At least in the original, where there are some things that maybe are a little bit outlandish, it's still set in some form of reality where it can make sense. But here, a lot of the comedy is just very cartoonish. It's just hard to pinpoint, and it just doesn't feel right. It's almost silly for silly's sake, where the original, it's a comedy, but it's not really silly. It feels like a very silly comedy. And that's kind of what I don't like. For one, this is a sequel that's not necessary. I don't feel like, let's just, they all lived happily ever after and leave it at that. To be honest, I kind of wish it would have been that way. However, that doesn't mean just because this movie it's nowhere near on par with the original Coming to America. It's not. There's no way it can be on par with the original Coming to America. The original Coming to America is a comedy classic. But that doesn't make it a bad movie. It doesn't make it a movie that's not enjoyable. I think this is one of those movies where you're probably going to have to watch once or twice, maybe even a third time to really appreciate. Because if you've seen the movie a lot, you're going to be focusing on the callback jokes from the original. You're not really going to be like the newer ones, the newer stuff. It's probably going to get you, but not as much as those original jokes are. So where does this sit with me? If I, putting this on the Plotaholic shot rating meter, honestly, as much as I don't want to give this a lot of shots, I have to give this a 3-shot rating, and it hurts to do because I love Eddie Murphy. I love his comedy stylings. I love Arsenio Hall. I thought the movie was fun, but it's just, it's not a worthy successor. It's really not. Doesn't mean it's not a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's just not what you would expect a Coming to America film to be. The original Coming to America, like I already said, is a classic. It's the best of the best. This one, it's the sequel that we didn't really need, but we got it, and it's like, well, all right, it's here. I can accept it. And I love you because you're one of ours. And that's about it. What I would probably do, though, watch the original, enjoy the original. I mean, check this one out if you're curious. Just like I said, you're not going to be as pleased or as satisfied as you were with Coming to the original. The original Coming to America is a 0-shot film. This one is a 3. That's about all I can really throw in there without repeating myself yet again. So, if you like what you heard, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you click the little bell icon so you know whenever we get content. Not only will we have our podcast, the Plotaholics podcast, which is everywhere where you get your podcasts, but you'll also get Tann Talks. You will also, here on YouTube, you'll also get our Kaiju School, where Shane Wilson and I discuss the Kaiju film genre. We just did an episode where we talked about the original Godzilla, and we talked about Godzilla 2014. Next we're probably going to be doing Kong versus Godzilla. Who knows? But make sure you check those out, especially if you're a big fan of the Kaiju genre. Or if you love drunken reviews, then you definitely got to check out Shane Wilson's Drunk Reviews, because that is a good time to be had by all. And if you want to get all of our stuff in one single solitary spot, go to plotaholics.com. Check us out there. You can get all of our content. You can leave us comments on everything, as you can anywhere else. And you can go to our store where we have some pretty awesome merch there as well. So with that being said, I'm Bryan Tann, one half of the Plotaholics and the man of Zamunda. This has been another episode of Tann Talks. We'll see you next time.